Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday morning. I'm just going to get right into it. I'm watching NASDAQ here at the bands on the 30-minute. If you guys, on the prop team, it's a good spot to start maybe leaning a little bit day trade short. 15-minute cycle is high a little bit earlier, and 30 minutes there, and I believe the hourly, 30 minutes on the downswing. So this would be the first place that you fail. It's the underside of pi, which is kind of arcing and kind of moving price into the southern hemisphere. And anytime that happens on the 30-minute chart, it's actually very meaningful. So the bands have actually, really guys, the bands on the 30-minute and the hourly is going to get you kind of where the immediate trend is. So whatever is like the dominant trend day to day, week to week. And there's a lot of the machines and the higher frequency stuff and the algos, the quants are going to be following similar time frames and patterns. So you could see, I mean, this is the NASDAQ, right? NASDAQ futures. I mean, just done a great job every time you got the location of the 30. We did a lot of work Monday around the bands. And just because you go below it doesn't mean you get short, right? And then you're back above it, and then you want to be bullish, and then that's how you would get chopped up. But when you add in things like the 15-minute on pi Monday, the first pullback to there is a buy. You bounce. Some of you actually were buying, had big mornings buying these lows. I actually bought a few times, but when that breaks and you start to roll back down and you take that out, I mean, it was clearly, you could see how, you didn't see how the bands were laying on top of each other right in this area. It was all around the 30-minute bands. You break pi, now you're in the southern hemisphere on the 15-minute, and then 30-minute trend is then clearly down. The bands roll over, and it's just lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. So there's plenty of places to pick your spots on the short side in that type of sell-off. And then this is going to be a real key whether or not we get a lower high. I said yesterday that this right here, this is a pivot. You had lower low, higher lows, potentially phase two. You guys are gone through the coaching and the model, you know what that is. Phase two, higher lows. But you're not really in a confirmed new uptrend until we take out this level. So it's respecting the exact spot that our model has picked out that I mentioned yesterday. So I'm leaning a little bit short NASDAQ and then probably won't add to it unless we really break here into the open. Most likely I'll wait and see how the market, I mean, the last several mornings, they push it up. Even sometimes we've only had as much as like a 5-minute bar up, and then the selling starts back in. So I'm just gonna kind of probably wait and see for the open before I add any more. But this is how I'm leaning day trade. So hope that helps. As far as core positioning, I'm still long, small amount of S&P, long a small amount of the Dow, playing NASDAQ net short, both on a small core short, and then I added day trade. And then I have an Amazon, which is a longer term long. So if this starts to squeeze on me, S&Ps, the Dow should be helping me in my favor, right? And then I'll have some opportunities to get a little bit more long Amazon. And I'll ride those three on the long side. And if this breaks down, I'm going to look to be adding day trade short, make some good money on the short side. And then I'll probably maybe add another lot if you get back to deeper levels on S&P or the Dow. And then the more we sell off on the downside, I actually want to get more long Amazon, but it's probably more to do with the daily cycle. If you want to look at that, it's similar to yesterday. So you guys should know, you should have in your mind from a trend perspective, near term's down. I just explained that on the NASDAQ. Where are we on the intermediate term? You should know in your mind, as of yesterday, we held the 4-hour, right? We held pi, 50% retrace of the wall. There's our wall off the lows, double bottom lows. It's one giant candle. The market holds about 50%. That's the right logical place for the bulls to kind of come back into the picture. So that's your intermediate term. It's still a little bit of a battleground here. If you take this low out, then that points to the full daily cycle, which is what I was just mentioning. Actually, let's see it over on this side. You should know where you are in the cycles also. 4 hour was low yesterday. The daily is coming off a high. There's plenty of room to come down to the downside. Some of the other cyclical measures. That's the hourly. Sine wave. This sine wave does a pretty good job. That still has some room to come up, but the cycle's high. This oscillator is a little bit more neutral. Sentiment cycling back down. That was high. That's a little bit longer term. Anyway, you know that the slow stochastic does a good job. So that's the point. Kind of right in the middle of the daily chop. And we've been putting in a long-term wedge here. I don't know if you guys are really, it's kind of obvious, but sometimes you lose sight of the big picture. But we're just consolidating here. So a lot of it will probably be around the election when we have a full clear winner. Does that mean it's a breakout? Does it mean a breakdown? I mean, it can go either way. We just have to, I don't really care. That is what it is. We're right smack in the middle. So those are the points of interest, your pivots. You kind of know what's on the upside on the intermediate term and near term. Pi on the lowest from yesterday matter, and then if you're through that, it kind of points to maybe a higher low in front of 11,000. Maybe you retest the absolute lows. That's kind of where we're at as far as equities. I want to shift to the dollar. I'm trying to go fast here. Dollar is in the middle now of its range, 116 to 119. We had good call yesterday. I said, look, if you're long gold, for a while there, I was just short silver. So I was actually a little bit more bullish on the euro coming off the 116 level, thinking we could get back to 119. That was a good call. Booked some on the long side, flipped and went short yesterday. That's short because I got a little bit out of the money on my gold position. You guys know I'm long about 1900. It's not too concerning, but the stronger the dollar gets, if the euro wants to go back, here's the 30-minute, the euro wants to go back to 116, that's dollar strength. The way it's looking right now, I mean, again, guys, this is the same chop that equities are doing, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This is one big range trade right now until we get some clear, probably presidential election-led stimulus, something the market can trend towards into next year. It's going to be a lot of back and forth, very headline driven. So you got to play the ranges. You're in the middle of the range, probably should test 117, maybe back to 116 and a half. 4 hour cycles down, daily cycles still plenty of room to come down. The probability is a lower euro, stronger dollar. That's not good for gold, especially if rates kind of continue to go up. So when you look at the long end, 30s are weak this morning. Although you're at pi, you still have a daily cycle that come down. That trend is clearly bearish. Further you go out the curve, ultras, same thing. 10s are bearish. So rates are rising. I don't expect them to go like, we're probably getting to the point where they're going to peak out again. So you could maybe buy some 10s a little bit cheaper. But that said, rates up, dollar up, not good for gold. And you can see that in our model, when you start taking out this low, that low, opens up a move for the 200, which is 1,800 bucks, and then pi, full pi cycle will be 1,700. So I tightened up my core risk, meaning I've got 1,850 strike puts. I sold some calls on the small bounce yesterday, like a covered call position against my longs, and you guys are getting a lot of. So if I'm long here for 1,900, it's actually like 1,890. And then I've got puts here at 1,850. This is the floor right now for me. Gold's getting really smushed at the moment as the euro comes down. On this bounce, I knew I'll be in the money, right? If we start to trade the futures up through this area. So I started selling some calls. I was long 5 contracts. I sold 3 calls I think expire Friday or the week after at 1910. So I still have upside through 1910 with 2 contracts, but I knew I'd be booking some gains, and I was fine with getting called away here at 1910. I'd be back in the money. But if we didn't get the further rally, guess what? Those calls are making me money now, and I can either book them right now, for example, the short calls, or if we just make a new low, I'll just let those expire, and then I'll just sit on the trade for a little bit, maybe even go to the short side of silver, or just sit tight on my short euro position. So I'm making some money here, trading it around the short term, making a little bit, even though I'm out of the money on my longer term long, but I'm kind of protected. And these short calls help pay for the protection. Okay, that's how you want to professionally manage your risk. That's how you use options to do that. I mean, this is why you guys should go through the options course. You should add this, add all those quivers, all those arrows to your quiver. Like, it really just helps you add additional income, helps you protect overnight positions. It helps you take advantage of more momentum without, like, you can come out of futures and just buy upside calls and keep your core position without having a whole lot of buying power or chips on the table. You can take some off. Anyway, so I think this, to me, after this real money candle, you guys know BCI here on the daily, we take out this low. I think you're going to test 1800. Makes me want to maybe put a little bit more short on silver, maybe buy some puts on silver. Silver probably to us 23, 22. If gold really gets hit hard, maybe even we get back to 21. Okay, that's metals, that's the dollar. I'm not doing anything in oil. I think it's just neutral to sideways. If I had a gun to my head, I'd be a better seller here, back at these highs around 42, 43 with the pie line up at 44. You had a shot at breaking down, made a new low, and then they just reflate everything right back up. This has a lot to do with the dollar trade. I only have a small 2 contract short on the minis on oil. I haven't added to it. Maybe I'll put some puts on, or maybe I'll sell a little bit more of the minis up here. I'd rather kind of hit oil on the downside when the near term's breaking. Nothing to do in copper, hanging above $3, which tells me growth slowing isn't as much of a concern right now as far as global growth. I don't think I have time to get into a lot of commodities. FX, I hit on that. I'll go, you guys that are in the cycle edge room and the prop room, I'll go through some more of the FX pairs, and I'll do another crypto video here shortly. You guys, hope that helps. Hey, it's if you guys have missed the emails, or maybe just a reminder, I'm doing a sale all this week, and the way I structured it was starting yesterday at noon. You have 24 hours to get 66% off of my all my trading courses. I call it my total trading package. It's the options team, it's the prop room. Inside the prop room is basically, you have access to me every day for a year. So we're doing all the coaching. That's where the mentorship happens. You got direct access to me. Obviously, it's a team environment. We're sharing information, edges. And then I'm helping you guys work through the Top Step program, which I can get you 20% off also on that day trading futures program. So they charge a monthly. We can help you get 20% off every month for that. But it's just a great way. I mean, I've had some of you are rifling through it this week. What was I going to share? On a Top Step group. That's a firm out of Chicago for you guys that might not know. They've done 1.6 million in withdrawals for this year. So this is the best group I've seen that allows any trader anywhere in the world pretty much to get started for almost nothing. Considering I used to pay $2,000 for a Bloomberg, $2,000, $2,500 a month for a clerk, $10 in ticket charges and clearing fees through Pershing. I mean, it could be $5,000 a month just to trade with the type of buying power that these guys offer. I mean, you can trade up to 15 contracts for a few $100 with my affiliate discount that I worked out a deal out with them. So most of you guys know about that, but anyway, help you get funded. So don't spend 50 grand and being able to only trade a few contracts in your account when you can use these guys' buying power, save their money, put it into a program like mine where you're getting coaching, you're getting mentorship, you're getting a trading model, you can learn options, you can learn the Forex market. I'm giving you so many resources that you can learn the skills. Then you have a high income skill, you have it for life, you're equipped, you have a team, you have a coach. That's how you set yourself up for success. 15 contracts here, guys. I mean, that's a lot of contracts. You can make a lot of money on 15 contracts. So some of you guys are blowing through, like Eric. I hope he probably doesn't mind that I share this, but he did like 5-6 grand on NASDAQ, moved on to step 2 here. So really proud of him. This is the Cycle Edge group. I mean, the guys, look at the 2 contracts on the euro overnight, just a 2-day move. 2 grand today. I'm up 1,400 there on 2 contracts. Just one on the Dow, small move, couple grand. 5-10 contracts. If you learn to scale into these positions, you can do real money. So we've got guys going through the program. It's a 2-step process. We know how it works. You can get through, and this was the day before getting through to 5 days. So we got the time in the chair with them in that program. I think it's great. But back to the deal then is, so I did starting until noon today, because I've been started this yesterday. You guys, usually this whole package I've been doing is at 3 grand. All right. All my courses, everything I just talked about. So we have 6-7 more hours here until noon Eastern. It's only $1,000, guys. 66% off. I've never offered anything that cheap. All my courses, everything I put together for 3 years. We've trained over probably 64 traders now globally. So pretty amazing. All right, sign up, get in there, get that done today. Tomorrow it goes up $500 each day until Saturday through noon. It goes back up $500. So tomorrow it's going to go to, this price is going to go to 1,500, and the next day it's going to be back at 2,000, etc. All right. I got to hop on with my group. Hope that helps, guys. Have a great morning. Hopefully we'll see some of you on the team here pretty soon.